Because if you keep putting it off till the end of the day, right? Imagine if every day you did the hard stuff when you're super tired. This is the only way you make money in your business, and you want to tell me you can't do it? Well, I'm not surprised that you're not making more sales, man. You know, you guys are like, damn, does Brenda get yelled at like this every week? I'm just kidding. She stays around, so yeah, go ahead, tell us. I'm just kidding. All right, so today you're getting the intense version of me. Tomorrow you'll get to know me a little bit differently. I'm not wasting time sharing anything about me at all. You can ask me at the end if you want. But just a little bit of background. My name is Taeler, spelled real fucking weird. Thanks, Mom. It is symmetrical with my last name, which is pronounced DeHaze. So not like DeHaas or anything weird. So Taeler DeHaze is my name. My background, really quickly, just so you do know, I come from a TV news reporting background, and I was a bodybuilder, powerlifter, all of that. And so I kind of was always in the fitness realm. And so when I was fired in 2019, I started my business. I didn't think twice about it. I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I had $800 in my bank account. I said, fuck it, let's go. And that's history. That was fun. 5 years later, my company has made over 5 million, and that's it. And my job here today is to teach you and inspire you. I don't give a shit about the money today. What I'm trying to teach you is this is the one constant. This DM stuff is the one constant. So I didn't know what a business mentor was when I started out, right? I just followed cool coaches on Instagram and whatever. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to start a business, I got to talk to people, right? I think a lot of us think we start an online business, so I have to use my phone only. And the outside world is weird. No. I was like, when I was buying my chicken and egg whites and whatever bullshit at the grocery store, oh, hey, are you a coach? Yes, actually. Or like, are you eating healthy? Are you making some, are you on a diet? No. I'm actually an online coach. Like I do fitness coaching and nutrition. Oh, I would love to connect with you. Yeah, what's your Instagram? Like I was telling 10 people every day what I did somehow. I was ending my cycling classes being like, yo, it's my first month in business. I'm so stoked to be done. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I was just finding ways to like bring it up. I wasn't selling, I wasn't pitching. But if no one knew what I did, how would they know to buy? Sounds kind of fucking obvious, right? So I share that story because I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. Half the time, I still don't fucking know. Everything is a very educated guess. The difference today versus 5 years ago is I have 5 years of data now to tell you what fucking works. And I've worked with over 1,500 men and women that can back me up on this, Brenda being one. Brenda was one that fought me for how many months on the DMs? Nice. And so what I want all of you to do today, seriously, do her a fucking favor. Don't fight her for 6 months. Just fucking do it, okay? Because if you, again, avoid the one thing that makes you money or outsource it, which we'll talk about at the end, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I did not hire a single person for my sales team till way beyond. So a lot of things I'm going to tell you today may sound simple, but I'm very granular. I'm very specific. I want a checklist. I want to know exactly what to do every single day at what time so that I can get it done. And if that's how you relate, we're going to have a great time today. So again, as I'm teaching things, what I want you to do is feel free to ask questions if you want, but I would say we're going to run through my workflow, and then we're going to talk about it at the end. We're going to figure out where we're all kind of either fucking up, where we can refine, where we can add volume, and then we're going to keep moving. Cool? So, you guys stoked? So again, we're not going to complain about not landing sales anymore because that's why we're all here, right? Okay, so there are 5 components that I typically go over when it comes to my DM process. And again, as I'm going through these, take notes of where you either need to add some kind of refinement, what you're not doing at all. If you're like, oh, that's a good idea. I haven't done that yet. That'll help me out, right? So sourcing, everyone's least favorite thing to do. My least favorite thing to do, your least favorite thing to do. Why? Because starting a conversation with a random person sometimes just feels disingenuous. Here's what we're not going to say anymore though. I'm just like, I don't know, if I create better content, then like I'll attract the right people. Have you made money doing that yet? Now, when you've built something, you will. When you've built something, you will attract people. Yes, absolutely. And if you are blessed, where you've got a ton of referrals coming in, that's awesome. But you can't count on that. Referrals are bonuses, and we love a good bonus. But you can't grow a business off of hope or whatever, right? Because then you just can't quantify any of that, right? So again, like today, I think about the fact that we have quite a few inbound leads that come in due to engagement, content strategies, maybe it's paid traffic, whatever it is. But when I first started my business, I was like, I'm just gonna talk to random people that I'm finding on the internet. And this was outbound. This is not inbound. This is talking to people that are not already following you, okay? Strangers on the internet. And I promise you, unless your message is, hello, my name is Taeler. Do you want to make $1 million in 90 days? Unless you're saying some bullshit like that. Oh, my TV voice comes out? Yeah. Unless, tonight at 6. Unless you are saying weird shit like that, you're not going to sound salesy. Every part of my process, and Mike will say the same thing, is asking permission. You are always asking permission to give, to send a link, to pitch, to open a conversation. So nothing should feel sketchy. And I would say 1 out of every 100 conversations I have is like, I know what you're doing. Fuck, I don't need a business coach. Okay, cool. But I'm not going to stop because that one idiot who's probably not doing very well in their business, right? Who ends up signing up anyway and Mike has a call with. So whatever. All right. So sourcing, we know what this is, right? I would like for you to commit to 100 to 200 leads every week. You found 2 in 5 minutes. Okay, not that hard. So I don't care how you do this, but I will tell you, if that timer rule helped you, then you're going to set a timer for 10 minutes for 1 week and find as many people as you can find. And I will talk about how to do that in a second, right? But if you can just get the habit down every single day, then you'll be like, dude, why am I freaking out about this? It's fucking easy, right? So again, what I want you to do, I'm going to talk about Instagram. And if any of you have Facebook groups that you enjoy or whatever, we can talk about Facebook at the end. But everything I'm talking about is going to be primarily Instagram focused. So what I would recommend doing is you have to first know what your ideal client is searching for. So that title in your bio, which is the only thing that is searchable on Instagram, right? So if your bio just says like online coach, your client's not typing in online coach. They're typing in fat loss, PCOS, transformation, dysbiosis, metabolism, bikini competitor. So change that if we need to do that. But what are they searching for? So you're going to type in those keywords and find other coaches that have a larger following, 25K to maybe 250K, any more than that, and it gets to be like obsessive and a little aggressive, right? So for example, let's say you're a Gen Pop coach, focusing on fat loss, flexible dieting, etc. Instead of using a Lane Norton, you're going to use Lane Norton's assistant coaches. Okay? Because Lane Norton's got a lot of coaches commenting and shit like that and whatever. And he was my personal coach, so I can vouch for don't use him, use his ACs, right? If you are a bikini competitor, maybe you use Bare Aesthetics, maybe you use Paul Ravella, maybe you use Jason Theobald if you're a little more functional, okay? And then you're going to find Jason's post, right, which I'll get to in a second, on how to actually start conversations from those. I just want to talk about where to go. This will take you the longest to find where to go. And I want you to focus on those sources for 1 week, no more than 3. Because I need you to know when you start to get responses, I call them hotspots. I find a hotspot, I send messages, then those are your sources, right? So you have to figure out what hotspot yields the best results, okay? So we kind of already went over this, so I got ahead. But I do find that a lot of you starting out really don't know what your ideal client is looking for. So one of the questions that I ask my beginners is, tell me where they're getting information from. And you know what I get? Instagram, social. Yeah. Where though? Like what social media site? What magazine? What website, right? If I say, where do you get your news from? And somebody says, newspaper? The fuck? I don't know what that, like, right? Like where? If you do not have like a multi-page document of your ideal client's internal dialogue somewhere, which I call storyboards, you're missing out. You're fucking missing out. So if you're a functional coach and you maybe have gut health cases, thyroid issues, estrogen dominance, you're going to have multiple storyboards in your niche. That's cool. If you're Gen Pop, you've got, calorie counting Kara, Dad Bod Danny. You got all these different people with they're still looking for general weight loss, but their story's a little bit different, right? And that's why I don't target I help moms who want to lose weight. Moms and weight loss are not that, right? That's not the pain. So if you have not already done that, that's homework from today, is to create some storyboards and take me through a full day. What do they say in the morning? So for example, I'll give you a random example of someone who needs to lose weight, but they've been struggling, busy, lots of kids, young kids, cool. So let's call her Sarah. Sarah wakes up in the morning. She was gonna work out. She woke up late because she kept hitting snooze 3 times. She was up late the night before, snacking on popcorn and wine. A little too late watching Desperate Housewives. Oh, she's gotta pack lunch for 3 kids. She doesn't have time to make hers. She grabs the granola bar, Nature Valley, because that seems healthy. It said protein on the label. Sprints out do you see where I'm going? And then that's your hyper-relevant content that gets you the fucking inbound leads. That's not hard, guys. The best CEOs spend 10% of their time thinking. Do you ever give yourself time to just think about what you low-key kind of suck at or what you can be better at? Or do you just stress and tell Brenda and send her a voice memo? Because that's not productive. Feels good in the moment. I told my coach I'm struggling. She'll save me. No, she sure as hell won't. Right? And Brenda and I have those moments too. I get voice memos from Brenda having spirals too. And we work through them. But the thing about Brenda is that she's never stopped moving forward. Her get back on the path, so to speak, time frame is like a day. Literally, a day, right? So again, think about that. How can we get a little more specific? Okay? So I already gave you that example, right? So hotspots, just to recap, if you want to take a photo of this, feel free, right? So I want you to find time, sometime this week, to just spend an hour or two finding a few places that you're going to source from. And again, you're looking for high engagement. So comment me for my macro guide. Ooh, nice. Look at all the me. Start conversations. Hey, Sarah, my name's Kate. I help women like you do blank. Saw you were struggling with X. Mind if I share something that's worked for my client this week? Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. You'll source 10 people in 5 minutes. It's not hard. The hard part's finding where the hell to go, right? But you only know if somebody's a good hotspot if you know what they're saying in their head. Because you can't post how to get more protein and expect, right? If somebody looks at your content and they've seen that 75 times in the grocery store checkout line or on Pinterest or whatever, you're no fucking different. And people invest in Brenda versus some other business coach, not because Brenda necessarily had the better strategies, but because you resonated with her as a human, right? So if Brenda and another coach share the same exact strategy, the differentiating factor is her. And if you all hide behind content for coaches, no one's gonna hire you. Share you right? Jokes aside, earlier today, Taeler, you dressed for an Avril Lavigne show, and I said, bitch, I went 2 weeks ago. Saw Avril Lavigne 2 weeks ago, you bet yeah, I did. So yes, My point is, I connect with people on a music level a lot of the times, not always. People ask me, are all your clients emo? I'm like, no, maybe 10% are, okay? But if you want to go to Warped Tour next year, let's take a field trip, right? I'm super stoked it's back. But jokes aside, no. But people connect with me maybe because of a tough love approach, because I'm data driven, because I'm not telling you to run ads tomorrow. I want you to profit more, right? But I'm going to kick you in the ass when you need it. And some people don't want that, right? I know Brenda gives you tough love as well. And so just remember that, when you look at your content from way up there, ask yourself, am I being really relevant? Is every post talking to one person or 100? Right? Remember that, okay? So we're going to find hotspots. Now, the conversations, like I said, you're going to see stuff like this. This is an example of where I would source from. So I don't remember who this was. I blocked their name out. But basically, this person, I put together one sheet that has tons of ideas on what to eat if you're short on carbs. Comment, eat, and I'll send it to you. Eat. This was filled with a lot of eat. So I don't remember what the carousel was for that, but ultimately you can probably figure out that they're struggling on how to figure macros out, portions, all of that. So you're just offering up something for free. Advice is free. It doesn't have to be a perfectly curated lead magnet, okay? Just give them something for free. Another example, this is me, so I don't really care if I bring this up. But like I had really bad weight loss resistance, really fucking bad. Gained 45 pounds in 90 days after prepping, couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Jason and I have worked together for a long time, but a lot of coaches were like, what'd you do? What'd you use? What'd you use? And I'm like, hey, go use my post. There's a lot of people wanting to hire people that can't afford Jason, who's $1,000 a month, quite literally. But they can hire Brenda because she's half the price and she's going to get you the same results, right? So you just have to know where to go, all right? Next thing, nurturing. This will be a little bit shorter. Nurturing isn't the hard part. It's only hard because you stop doing it. So DMing is like dating, okay? Imagine if you meet someone new and day one they say, hey. And then a day later you say, what's up? And then a day later you say, not a lot. Are you ever gonna go on a damn date? Probably not, right? So I would recommend getting your DMs multiple times a day. We'll go over the frequency later and what the time kind of looks like. But just remember, I like to spend multiple times a day in there, and I like to send at least a voice memo every day. Not like one singular one, but like in the conversations. Because those voice memos, number one, are easy. Number two, they know it's you. And number three, connection is formed from voice way faster than just written, okay? So when they hear you, they hear the inflection, they get to know your personality. Jokes with me are always the fact that like, oh, you're getting your steps in again. So if you know me or have followed me at all, you know this. If not, this is my morning routine, so to speak. So different than Matthew's morning routine. I do not respond to people, emails, things like that. But my morning routine is getting my steps in, maybe listening to a podcast or something, but I will get on my treadmill, which is in my garage, and I will answer everything unread in my DMs. Because when I start my day out with a sales making activity, I feel fucking on fire. And then I'll stop and get ready, eat breakfast, get my coffee, and then like go to a co-working space, something like that. But I feel really accomplished. And I also know when I'm most productive. So this is a slight tangent, but I think it's important to know. If you are working out in the morning, which I love working out in the morning. Anyone else? I just love the morning. Here's what I found out though. I'm really productive in the morning. So I was working out in like peak productivity time and I'm trash after 2 p.m. It's just not prime. But I'm always on point for client calls. So client calls are after 2 p.m. But if you are just focusing on client work in the morning and then by the time, I gotta plan content, I can't think. Yeah, because you're dog shit at 2 p.m., right? Like, when are you most creative? When are you most productive? I teach something called in and on business days. So in business days are the client check-ins, right? Never ever have more than 2 client check-in days. I had 75 clients on my fitness coaching roster, did them in 2 days. You can do it. The longer clients stay with you, the less of the Loom video. Like it's not going to take you forever, right? Maybe if you get 10 new clients for Black Friday, oh shit, December's going to be a little hectic. But you can do up to 30 check-ins in one day. 10% won't fucking check in with you anyway. Delete some of them. Oh, that's less, right? It's not hard. Keep your client calls on those days. Only open up a 2 block of time. Then the rest of the week, let's say it's Wednesday through Friday, you're focusing on the on business. That could look like a funnel build, a team hire, a system migration, anything that moves the business forward, right? But pay attention during those moments that you feel scarcity or those moments that you feel panic, because what you do is you avoid everything Brenda just told you because you're like, I don't want my clients to leave. Let me spend more time talking to them. And then none of this ever gets done, okay? Now, the in and on will be hard if you have a 9 to 5. It's gonna feel different. The in and on will feel different if you don't have a lot to do. If you don't plan what the fuck you're gonna do, then you're like, it's Wednesday, Taeler said to have an on business day. What the fuck am I working on today, right? So this is like very unofficial that I will say, but every single Friday or Sunday, whatever the last like working day is for me of the week, I will do a massive brain dump on a Google Doc. What needs to get done at the end of this next week? And then I organize it by categories: marketing, content, fulfillment, team, whatever. And I just check that shit off as I go. And the thing I do before I close my laptop for the upcoming day is I time block my next day. Because if you give yourself 8 hours to write a week of content, your ass is gonna take it. If you give yourself 1 hour, you're gonna work faster, right? Like that timer in the DMs. So I used to set a timer for 30 minutes every morning for sourcing because I knew I was gonna be it was gonna be worthless if I waited to the end of the day, right? So again, all of the DM process has to fit into your schedule. And this is gonna take up way more time than anything else in your business right now as you're building the process, as you're building the SOPs, as you're getting the reps in, right? Remember the first time you put a barbell on your back? It wasn't the first time you squatted, correct? Right. So think about when you're lifting. When's the last time you hit like a PR or went to failure? Maybe last week? I don't fucking know. Right? You know that really weird face you make? But you keep pushing through it? You've built resilience. You've built a tolerance for feeling that discomfort. What's your reaction when you don't want to do this? Probably complain to Brenda. See? So again, Brenda and she doesn't care if I share this. Like even last week, it was, Taeler, like, do I have to meet with my setter every day? Yeah. Do you meet with your setter every day? Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll meet with her every day. Okay, cool. Brenda doesn't get to a certain level where she just doesn't have to talk to her sales team. Absolutely fucking not, right? And I share that as a joke because Brenda is extremely coachable. And all of you are in this room to absorb and be coachable too, right? So just remember, as we're talking about habits and building them, give yourself time this week to set your habits up for next week and start them, okay? All right, resparking. The money is in the respark. So if you say, all right, Taeler told me to send 30 DMs a day, just give you a random number. Just so you all know, the average response rate to one message is 10%. If you send 5 messages a day, what's 10% of that? Don't complain. That's not even a human. Okay? Most people respond after the second message or the third message. I have people that have signed $25,000 to $50,000 contracts with me after ignoring me for 5 months and being like, hey, I saw your message, just so you know, I've been watching your stuff for a really long time. I really want to join your mastermind. If I would have not bothered them 5 times, right, and just stayed on them, just letting you know, there's people ready for you. Because the sad thing and the annoying part is that people don't just say, hi, thanks for your first message. I'm so ready to hire you. No, they don't say that. It takes somebody on average 24 times to hear an offer before they're interested. So every time you don't get on your story, if that one person watches your story only on Mondays and you never pitch on Mondays, like you're missing out. It is repetition. You stalked Brenda enough times to finally say, fuck it, let me get on a call with her. It wasn't the first time she talked to you. You all probably ignored her too, right? Brenda wanted to sign up with me for a 30-day trial because she was a little nervous. And I said, no, what the fuck? No, we can't get shit done in 30 days. I mean, we can scratch the surface. Well, my husband's going to feel, I don't know. Well, let me know when you want to. Let me know when you want to. And here we are, 2.5 years later. But I bring that up because it took us a lot of back and forth. And for Brenda in particular, she knew someone who worked with me that did help, right? But just remember, in a world where everyone wants to be smaller and more fit and take the easy way out, you have to stand out. And also remember, it's not saturated, sure, but your client or your ideal client that's looking at you, they're not following 75 business coaches telling them 75 different things. You all are, which is also a great lesson. Unfollow them. Follow your coach and that's it. Do not, because the second that you start to have a hard week, well, Alex Hermosi said, maybe let me do that, right? Like, just remember, you can't skip the steps. And these are the steps that suck, but get you major results. And what's fun is, I joke with Mike all the time, like, man, like, I'm so glad I'm good at the DMs. Like, it's fun because once you get past that annoying, hey, Sarah, I saw that you did, like, once you're actually going back and forth and they're getting results and they're getting excited to talk to you and then you sign up with each other, like, it's fucking awesome. Like, everyone you're talking to, you're just giving them free something, free advice, free coaching. Like, it's all you're doing. And then sooner or later, the idea of reciprocity kicks in. Well, God, every time I've needed help in business, Brenda's always responded to me really fast. Brenda's like taking time to send me resources. And they're going to be like, oh, and then I'm getting Brenda's emails. And then I'm also listening to Brenda's podcast. And then I also saw, like, she's the one you're going to hire, right? So you want to be kind of everywhere too, which we're not talking about content today, but that's just another thought for you is like, you don't want to put all your eggs in this basket and then just stop sending emails or forget about the lead magnets. Like, you want to ultimately create a very omnipresent marketing strategy. And the people that are going to convert faster in the DMs are the people that are going to go stalk your stories, go see what you just posted. Man, Brenda's talking to me. How many times do you hear that? It's like you were talking to me. It's like you were targeting me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you don't hear that yet, it's a sign that your content needs to be a little more dialed in. Okay. So the typical cold to close average for an organic sale is about 8 weeks. And it's only getting longer today. And I hate to tell you that, but I'm not about fast cash. Because the faster you build it, the faster you lose it oftentimes. And I am in the business of generational wealth and getting you to build a life that you truly love living, and that's not going to happen in 8 weeks. So how do you make it go faster? You have more touch points, right? You just spend a little more time doing it. Like I said, it's like dating. So let's say these are week by week in terms of phases. Week 1, small talk and intriguing conversation starters. I have something called the 2-SOQ method, 2SOQ, which is basically 2 sentences and 1 statement. So what I mean by that is, hey, so-and-so saw this, blah, 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 can I do this? It's just 2 statements and 1 question. If you just pop in and just you're like, hey, do you need help with this? Hey, I like your leggings. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I've been to that gym before. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. What am I going to say to that? I'm going to double tap it and move on.
I say thanks for the follow. What brought you to my?
That's fine. That's at least yes. Yeah, I talk about that. And that's it. That's if like I can't tell where they came from too, right? If I see that somebody's following like a Brent, seriously, after this, right? If I see that somebody followed me and I maybe didn't see you physically in this room, hey, so-and-so, thanks for the follow. What brings you over? Are you working with Brenda? Because I need my team to know, off limits, ship them, right? So for you, I mean, I know it may not be literally that same thing, but did they follow you from your coach? Did they find you somewhere else? Did they see you in just like floating around on Instagram? You want to know where they came from, right? And if their profile is private, same thing. It's kind of hard to tell. I will reach out to private accounts just as long as I know they commented somewhere. Otherwise, I'm just like throwing a dart at a, wherever, right? But anyway, second thing is introductions. So I'm not going to talk about buyer types today. Mike may touch on that a little bit, but there's 4 sales buyer types. 2 are a little more feminine, 2 are a little more masculine. If you are somebody that maybe connected with Brenda and felt like you wanted to have a friend in your mentor, which is a lot of women, they want to feel like they can connect with their mentor, and that's a great thing. But the problem is your buyer type isn't your audience's buyer type. So if somebody is more analytical, be prepared to repeat everything included in your program, how it works, and do not show as much emotion because they're going to be turned off by that. Whereas if somebody is a driver, which is more of my buyer type, which is also not how my audience buys, my audience is very amiable, which is why I openly share a lot. Today is not that day. Tomorrow is that day. You all will learn more about me tomorrow. But that's where they want to hire the best. They don't care how you get there. They trust you to get them there. They want to see that you've been featured, that you've been on stages, that you've worked with really great people, right? There's a reason that my coaches are Lane Norton, Jason Theobald, Cliff Wilson, some of these amazing people, because I'm like, I want the best of the best, right? And so some people really like that. So you have to make sure that your marketing is talking to all buyer types, not just how you like to be marketed to, because the DM process will teach you a lot about that. So when you get stuck in the DMs and you're like, oh, I don't know if I should pitch yet. I don't really know. We'll talk about that too next. That's where you get to say, okay, what is their buyer type? What is their buyer type? What do I think it is? And you'll figure that out and go from there, right? Number 3, assess what their goals are. So in week 3, you should know what their goals are. And not like a, hey, what are your fitness goals? Something I like to ask, you can translate this to fitness. what would make you feel most accomplished in the next 90 days? Because if you ask a vague question, remember when your parents would say, how was school today? And you said, fine. Vague. Vague questions get vague answers. If you ask Brenda, hey, Brenda, what do you think is wrong in my business? She'd be like, oh, are you spiraling? What's going on, right? If you ask your mentor a vague question, you're going to get a vague answer. You have to be your best advocate. And finally, in the 4th week, that's you can share how you help, right? And I'll go over pitching in a second. But these are the 4 phases. More touch points, move it faster, right? So how do we move quickly? 20 to 40 leads per day. Whatever's going to get you there fastest. If it's daily, if you source Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I don't care. Take weekends off. It does not matter to me, but just get the messages out there, right? Next part. You're always asking thought-provoking questions. This is key. This is so key. It's like we get in the DMs and we forget how to be a fucking human. What do I say, Brenda? What do I say? Here's a screenshot. What would you say if someone actually asked you that question in real life? Right? Like, don't overthink it. Let's be chill. Let's be chill, guys. Be chill. I often tell my setters, because they'll get excited, like, ooh, can I pitch yet? Do we think it's time to pitch? And I'm like, yo, be chill. Play hard to get. Be chill. So like when someone starts to say, wow, this really helped me, like after a podcast, I'm not like, here's my link. I'm like, oh, sick. What are you going to implement tomorrow from that podcast? Let's see if you can take some fucking action, because I don't want to work with you if you can't. I don't. I will help you with every single mindset problem, but I can't physically sell for you. I can't, right? And so if you are unable to take a step, it's like the people that sit on your application for like 2 weeks and you're like, Brenda, why won't she fill it out? You're like, do you want that person? They're going to bail on a payment. And you're not at the level where you should be messing with collections or lawsuits or any of that shit. You feel me, right? I'm talking to you, man. Apparently. But you all get that, right? It's really easy to get caught up in like the, oh, what do I say? Oh, this person. Take a step back. I like to give somebody at least 2 wins before I actually pitch to them. Voice memos, send them. I promise you, more voice memos, you're going to see conversations move faster. And then again, you're actually listening to them. Like, I treat the DMs as if you're already my client. I don't tell them that, but I'm giving them the same level of detail that I would. And I have a limitation, right? If somebody's like sending me screenshots of their DMs in my DMs, what would you say, Taeler? This is something that I actually do with my coaches in Fitness Coach Academy, and this is not something that I'm going to do here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, have a limit. But if somebody wants to send you a screenshot of their full day of eating, oh, you know, I see 3 main problems. The main one I'm going to hit, though, is protein. You're only getting about 50 grams a day. Then I don't tell them the other 2 problems. Create a little bit of overwhelm, but give them one solution, right? Because if you're the person that constantly gives them feedback, that constantly hears them out, that constantly goes back and forth with them, you're always the one that they're going to hire first. But you're trying to rush the process, right? You're not going to do anything I tell you and see results tomorrow or in 7 days. You're going to see results the first week of November. And you're going to set yourself up for a really fucking kick-ass Black Friday sale if you do everything I tell you this upcoming week. Absolutely. So just remember that, right? I'm a very big believer on whatever you work will work if you work it. Anytime I start a new ad campaign and throw thousands of dollars, I can't make adjustments for 120 days because I don't have enough data. So I have to trust myself and my intuition that what I'm doing makes sense, right? You can't convince a stranger to purchase $300 coaching tomorrow or in 7 days. Be real, you don't buy like that. That's not normal, right? Your coaching is not impulse buying. If somebody purchases within 2 weeks or less, buyer remorse is a real risk there. Seriously, think about anyone you've closed. I hate when I get random applications for my mastermind. I hate it. If it's a no referral, I'm like, oh, a 1-year contract with you. That's a no for me, dog. Let's keep talking. Let's keep talking. Why are you here? What's up? You know? So I also want to bring that up too. You all have the right to be picky. Don't get desperate. Okay? Now, your first like 25 to 50 clients, they kind of suck. They're not really your ideal client. One out of every 4 is going to be like, I love that person. Everyone else is kind of shitty. They can't follow what you say. They're not accountable. That's normal. It's because you have no authority yet. You're building that. You're still earning that. And I don't care if you've been doing this for 25 years, because a 17-year-old with an iPhone is making more money because they're not afraid to put their face on camera. Well, you're like, I have more authority. I have more credentials. No one fucking knows it because you don't talk about it, right? So again, like I said, they gotta like you to want to invest in you, okay? All right, pitching. When do I pitch? It's a feeling, it really is. It's truly a feeling. Like I said, for me, it is after I have had 2 confirmations from somebody that they have received what I've said to them and implemented or said it's helpful, right? So for example, I send them a lead magnet. Oh, I loved how you said XYZ. I implemented that. Cool. Oh, your podcast. I totally changed around my schedule. I now have in and on business days, right? Whatever, right? Hey, I've loved getting to know you, Kate. Do you mind if we open up the conversation about working together? I'd love to share more. Yeah, I've been thinking about it too. Can you tell me more? Absolutely. I can send podcasts all day. No one, well, it's very rare that someone's going to say, Josh, yo, man, can we talk about working together? That's not going to happen. It's going to be, here are the answers. I would love to talk about it. I would love to talk about it, but I have no money. That's it. That's it. That's it. I don't know if I can afford it, right? I would love to. I'm just not sure if I have the money right now. No worries. Let's talk through that. What do you got going on the next few months? People assume things are expensive when they don't know what it is. People assume, and that's also a buffer, right? You will never get to a level in your business where money is not an objection. Don't focus on objection handling money. Figure out what the money is code word for. Okay? And understand that if somebody says that, and I remind myself of this today, if somebody gives you the objection, like it's not the right time, whatever, you did not show them the benefits of your offer appropriately. You have work to do on the marketing. That's all that says. Because when I was dealing with my weight loss resistance and all of that stuff, I would have given anyone whatever they wanted to fix me. I hired 4 practitioners in 2 years. I couldn't fix anything. I had mold, dysbiosis, premenopausal hormones. Like I said, weight gain. I've never been that weight in my entire life. I would have given anybody any money if they could fix me, right? So you want to tell me that woman who cries when she puts on pants because she doesn't feel confident won't give you $250? Bullshit. She just got her nails done. Bullshit. Be better. Be fucking better. And that's what I tell myself every day. Where can I be better? Because every 90 days, I reevaluate my content. I reevaluate my DM process. Every 90 days, you get more data. Think about that annoying client that's like, I haven't lost weight yet. I don't know if I want to re-sign. It's been like 6 months. But like the first 3 months, they couldn't even track protein. You know what I'm saying? And so what are they doing? And I mean, we're all coaches. We get it, right? We all had some fucked up backgrounds with food, which is why we coach today. Am I right? Cool. Nice. So back in the day, I would step on the scale and that would determine if I ate more carbs or didn't. Y'all remember those days? I'm glad I was like 12 and not 26, but whatever, that's behind me. So I say that because even recently I was getting kind of worked up. I was doing a little mini cut for a shoot that I had. And I was like, man, the scale is just like, it's not moving as quickly. I feel leaner, but it's just like, bitch is kind of stuck. What the hell's going on? So I said, let me compare this body weight to 2 years ago. And I was like, oh, girls recomped. Sick, right? Like when you look at data on a daily basis, you get emotional with it. Wherever you are today is better than you were 365 days ago. I promise you. I promise you. So I want you to evaluate yourself every 30 days, not 7. Evaluate your performance, like your work ethic, how you're showing up, if you're getting close to a burnout phase, how your energy is. Evaluate that on a weekly basis. But if you're like, I don't know if the DMs are working, let's look at volume after 30 days. When you wake up every morning and check your DMs, do you start to get more messages to respond to? Or is it still just like crickets, right? Like that's what you want to start looking at. But like I said, you all should crush Black Friday. We do this, okay? So again, we can talk about this at the end, but there's not a lot to ask. So this is what I would say. It is an ask every time, okay? Hey, Josh, I'll be straight with you. This is obviously in my tone of voice, as you can all tell. But hey, Josh, I'll be straight with you. After getting to know you, I'd love to open up the conversation about working together. Can we do that? Josh said, yeah, man. Love to know more. Share some stuff. Sick. And then I got some Loom videos ready to go. Oh, those quick chats. Those are my favorite. Fucking love quick chats. If y'all aren't using those, we'll talk about that in the Q&A portion. Okay? So I have 2 videos saved. One is going to show you why I'm different, and one is going to give you a back-end view of Fitness Coach Academy and show you what the course looks like, all those things. So I got that analytical side, I got that amiable side. I'm like, let's go, right? So you have to have those things ready. Then this is the other one, right? After chatting with you for 6 months, Jasmine, I know I can help you achieve your goal of growing your business in the next 90 days. Can we open up the conversation about working together? I'd love to send over my call calendar. Yeah, same girl, send it over. Sick. She's probably not going to say fuck you after talking to me for 3 months. So if you're a little sensy about rejection, fuck it, move on. You're not going to grow a business. I'm going to tell you right now, and that there's no sugar-coated way to say that. There really isn't. If your day is ruined and listen, I know this used to be me, okay? It's very weird. It's very weird. Even people that have a sales background, because selling you is not selling for a company. There are times where Mike and I are like, Mike Wiley, man, I've talked to that lead recently. I'll share the Jesus, the God story. All right. I had this lead. This has nothing to do with faith or religion or anything at all. So we ran a scholarship a few weeks ago for Fitness Coach Academy, and we gave away like $50,000 in scholarships. It was a real fun experience to kind of give back. And there's one guy that Mike had plenty of rapport with. I mean, probably 6 or 8 months worth of rapport. And I knew this guy would be great because I knew he wanted it. We'd had great conversations. And so we contributed a significant portion of tuition to this guy. Cool. 2 weeks later, this was like literally 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks later, I get this message, and it's like, it's a fucking paragraph. And you just know. You open, you're like, because when I get a private message in Slack, I'm like, okay, where's it gonna go? Because FCA is not like a private coaching container. It's this whole thing about like, God came to me and said that I don't need to pursue money, and I deleted my Instagram. And so because of that, and then when I was born, my mother thought that I was Satan, and like, it was a whole fucking thing. Ultimately, I can't keep paying because God told me I can't pay. It was so ridiculous. I sent it to Brenda, and I was like, pretty sure God would want you to uphold your commitments, but whatever, man. So anyway, he asked if he could get out of the contract, and I said, we'll be sending you to collections on Friday, man. Like, I don't know what God's going to tell you there, but that's it. So, I have a very strict rule with contracts. If it wouldn't get you out of your mortgage, it's not getting you out of a contract with me. And I signed the contract, and it's my commitment to help you. It's not just a one-way street. So, one more time for the guys in the back. This is a partnership, right? Absolutely. I am just as invested in you, and I have the responsibility of helping you grow your business. And so I want you to remember that when you have a client, because they're going to. There's going to be a divorce, and they want to get out of the contract. Their uncle got sick, out of contract. Oh no, my car needs repairing. Contract. Can you pause me? Been there, done that. No. Hey, Christmas is coming up. Can I pause for like 30 days? No. So anyway, yes, I always like to say, hey, like I'm in this with you, right? We're in this together. And that's not because I'm a dick. It's because people talk that you have no idea who talks. And if you build a reputation that you let people out of your contracts, it's never going to help you, right? If you don't want to have contracts, you don't have to. That's not what I would advise. But just be prepared for wonky revenue, So anyway, and also, don't extend your contract out of scarcity. Make sure your contract matches your framework. And if you're still working on developing a framework, focus on that, right? There's a reason that my 6-figure plus client signed a 1-year contract with me. Because if we want to bring in a new team member for Brenda, let's just say we're hiring a setter. It's going to take us 60 days to find and implement that person. This is going to take us 90 days to collect data. Shit, we're 7 months down the road. I don't promote fast growth. We can grow fast if you make decisions fast. But most of y'all sit on some shit for 6 months because you got to get over your bullshit, whatever your brain is telling you, right? Side note, I still have days. is this all gonna crumble tomorrow? That's normal. Welcome to fucking entrepreneurship. Has it ever? Nope. Has it ever? No, but it just gets more irrational as you grow, right? You know, and then I play the game. This is a fun game. Who had that thought recently? Like, what if it all crumbles tomorrow? Okay, Brenda, let's play a game. I'm gonna just keep asking you questions and give me the best answer you can. What if it all crumbled tomorrow? Then what? But if it all crumbled tomorrow, you still have, I know what you're making. So it wouldn't actually, you wouldn't have $0. You'd have a multi-6-figure business. Okay, so let's say it all crumbled tomorrow and you had no new clients. Cool. Then what? Then what? Then what? Do you see what I'm saying though? Ask yourself, then what? Because whatever you're, it's actually not a thing, right? So for me, I'm like, okay, if everything crumbled tomorrow, I know what my net worth is, and I would just do it again. All right, okay, whatever, it's dumb. Right, and then I'm like, no one, like, it's not gonna happen, okay? So all that to say, I know I'm giving you lots of side tangents, but it's helpful to know, okay? So this is something that I have a little bit of a different thought process on than I think a lot of people with sales calls, but I only open up my sales call calendar for about well, we're different now with like Mike and I, but I'm talking about my personal call calendar, usually like the upcoming week. I don't have it open for like a full month because I want to get them on a call soon. But what's different is that I don't let somebody book within 24 hours, usually 48, which a lot of coaches will say, don't do that. And if it's somebody for like Fitness Coach Academy, no, I'm getting them on like same day because they're probably talking to 7 other coaching companies. But for like a mastermind private client, because then what I want to do is that gives me 2 full days to look at their application and really hype them up. So the key to closing a sales call is not on the call, it's the 2 days before. What I mean by that is, let's say Jasmine applies to work with me. I'm going to go through her application, and something I ask is, what would make you feel most accomplished in the next 6 months? Jasmine, I see you want to hire a setter. That's so amazing. I don't know if you know this, but I actually train and place setters. I'm so excited to do that for you. I talk like it's already fucking happening. Then we get on the call and I'm like, dude, when we get started, I'm fucking stoked. So what I'm gonna do on this call, and I have a current, future, and needs process, which I'll go over really fast with you. Current, future, needs. No one will see this except for you. Have a Google Doc. Boop, boop, type on it. Zoom calls here. Current is where they are currently at, their current state. Future is where they say they want to go. Needs is your process of how to get them there within your contract length. So when I open up a sales call, I've already got all the rapport built, right? The thing with Mike is that Mike isn't Taeler, so he doesn't do this. Mike is going to teach you a great discovery process. But if you've been talking to somebody for a long time and you're the face of the company, they already know you. They feel good with you, right? But if like your assistant coach takes some sales calls later, that's going to be different because there's no rapport yet, right? And so, hey, Jasmine, just to clarify, you said, I'm going to make this up, right? Looks like you're currently making about 10K months. And by the end of next year, you'd like to have a $250,000 business. She'll say, yep, that's exactly what I want. Awesome. Cool. So I'm going to go over a few things on this call. I like to keep it pretty workshop-y, strategy focused. Is it cool with you if I run through some strategies I'd like to implement in the next 30 days? I'll give you a walkthrough of the year together, and then we'll kind of dive into how we actually get to work together. She's fucking hype. I'm hype. When I talk with somebody for a 1-year commitment or 6 or whatever, I don't go over the 6 months or 1 year. One, I have no idea if Jasmine is going to implement a damn thing I say. So I'm not pre-selling shit. But I do know that I'm going to help her create a 30-day sprint plan, and I don't want to overwhelm Jasmine either. So if you're like, okay, it looks like you got mold and dysbiosis and all this shit, so in the next 1 year, we're going to do all these protocols and all these, no, I'll go to my doctor. Insurance pays for that. Okay, see you back next month. Anyway, hey, so it looks like you're really struggling with losing that same 30 pounds, right? Is that correct, Kate? You've been trying to lose it for what, 4 years now, you said? Okay, cool. I'm going to be honest with you, Kate. Mike does the same shit. This is not sales tactics. This is how I am as a person. Really, I swear to God. Like, this is not sales. I have no formal sales training. Let me also say that. Literally 0. All right, Kate, let me be real with you. You've been eating like 1,200 calories and dieting for a long time. The fact that you're not losing weight right now tells me we need a little bit of TLC. So the first month, I really want to push your calories up and show you nothing is going to happen. What's actually probably going to happen is you'll see a little tightness, energy will come back. You mentioned your libido's a little low. That's probably going to enhance too. So give me 30 days to show you what's possible. And then from that point on, we'll do a touch point call and talk about the weight loss. But let's first get that 30 days to you. Does that sound fair? Cool. That's actually why I do 6-month contracts, because I can't undo 5 years of damage in 30 days, Kate. I got to be real with you. Sound good? Awesome. So then she's like, I'm fucking ready. She's going to take care of me. I'm heard. I'm seen. I love her. I love Taeler. She's the best. Okay, cool. So you all need to kind of hype them up. And again, talk as if they're already saying yes. Because then the end of the call is fucking easy. And I'm not going to step on Mike's toes. He's going to way in depth. But the investment scares you, right? Don't talk about it in the DMs. Just don't. If somebody's like, yeah, I want to get on a call with you, but like, how much? How much? Yeah. Yeah. How much? How much though? Give me a ballpark. Every now and then I'll get somebody that might say, well, I don't like that you're not telling me the price. But it's so rare that actually happens. So what I typically say is, I have multiple payment options, but at first I need to get a little more information about where you're at, etc. And we'll do it on the call. As a reminder, there's no commitment on the call. Think of it as homework. I'm like, okay, cool, sounds good, right? If it's something like a course that maybe some of you will build in the future or whatever, something that I like to tell people for like a fitness coach academy is, hey, we have multiple payment options and financing available. That's going to be credit score dependent. And again, we'll go over that on the call, but we've got multiple options that'll fit for you and your budget. Sound good? Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so it just depends, right? Then on the call, when I tell them the price, because I've hyped them up so fucking much and they're so in, I'm like, all right, so cool. I don't even ask them. I bring it up. Hey, so listen, the investment is $19.97 a month, 12-month commitment. Are you ready to go? Fuck yeah, send me the link. Sick. Awesome. Okay. Oh, my favorite part, tracking. Here's the thing. When you get to that Black Friday sale part and you're like, hey, Brenda, do you think that this will be successful? She's going to say, show me your lead tracker. And you're going to say, there's 5 names on it. So I say allow, like I have to give you permission. That's not how I'm meaning this, but I don't allow my clients to do a sale if they don't have at least 12 to 24 warm leads. And I'll go over my clarification what that means. But you don't do a sale to hope to God somebody sees you. A sale is to clear out your pipeline of warm leads. So if you don't have warm leads, don't run a sale. Do more of this, okay? So tracking, I'm not going to go over how necessarily. I would recommend using like an Airtable database. You can write down Airtable, look that up. It is free. I like it because it's searchable. An Excel spreadsheet's not like searchable, so I don't love that. So I would recommend using an Airtable. So, and Brenda, like I said, can help you with that. And if she's got you in some place like go high level at some point, I love that for keeping tabs of where people are in a pipeline, but I wouldn't use GHL for a literal tracker. So let me go over this. This is like the easiest way. This is like the lazy girl or dude's guide to tracking. This is like bare minimum, okay? Let me get out of your way and also unhook me. You're going to have the recording. Yeah. My thing is you won't have my physical PowerPoint. So if there's like a certain thing you want, feel free to take a picture, whatever, I don't care. But I'm going to go over these without touching the TV and getting my hands on it. When you open up your Instagram, if you go up to like a conversation, you're going to see that tag at the top. I'm going to run through this real fast. And you just swipe over and mark somebody. And what's great about this is you can filter by these categories, okay? So lead means I think this person is a lead. I don't want to forget they exist. I don't know if they're going to buy yet, but like they feel like maybe. Flag is warm. This is a warm lead. We are talking about fitness problems. I feel like we got some rapport. I'm probably going to be pitching them in the next few weeks. I like them. Cool. Booked means they booked a call. That way you never forget. If somebody pops up 6 months later, and I feel like I remember this face. Oh, they booked a call with me, right? Ordered, this is the weird one. Ordered is if somebody fills out an application but doesn't book a call. I don't want to forget about them. Paid, I mark them as paid and then move them to primary. I also don't follow anyone unless they're a client. I don't want to follow random ass coaches, sorry. I like to stalk people like Brenda so I can be like, yo, try this, do this, love this, hell yeah, right? There was a point where I looked up and I was like, why am I following 3,000 coaches? So if anyone's ever like, don't follow me, I follow my clients. I like to keep an eye on them and their progress. Fight me on that one. No one's going to. Like, that's it. Shipped means they are a dead lead. They suck. I don't like them. They're not qualified. They're working with a coach, whatever, right? That's it. Okay. So I know that the tracker is annoying. I get it. I 100% get it. Sucks to suck. Never have I ever met a business owner that doesn't know the data in their business, that is a successful business owner, right? You have to know this data because over time, what I want to know is, okay, Josh, how many calls did we get booked? We're going to make up a number together. How many calls did you get booked in the month of August? 20, awesome, cool. How many leads did you find in the month of August? Okay, that's a phenomenal conversion rate. You know what I'm saying though, right? So over time, what I want to see, because it's not, Brenda, I can't get calls booked. I can't get calls booked. Okay, but that's the result you want. So let's talk about it. So I tell my setters they have to make an offer 10 times a day. What I mean by offer is, hey, so-and-so, blah, 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 can we open up the conversation? Just like opening up, right? Because if I say that 10 times, I know that 5 of them will actually apply. And if I send about 5 applications, 2 calls will get booked. So I need to know how many offers you made every fucking day. So write yourself an end of day report. Put it on your phone in a notes app. I don't give a shit. But I need to know what you're doing. Because if you never make an offer, no shit. And that's a really big problem I see with coaches that just can't even get to 5K. They're just like, I don't want to fuck it up. Who cares? You won't. You cannot say the wrong thing to the right lead. I firmly believe that. Firmly believe that. 100%. So I need to know how many offers led to how many applications, which led to how many calls. And then from that call booking, how many showed up? How many closed? Because if you have a no-show problem, let's fucking fix that. None of you should have a no-show problem this early in your business. If you got 5 calls booked, all 5 should be showing up to that call. Reschedule is okay time to time, right? So keep that in mind. All right. Here's how I categorize lead types. I'm going to tell you right now as a solopreneur, do not worry about tracking cold leads. Just don't worry about it. You're going to stress yourself out. So warming up means that's when you mark them as a lead in your tags, right? Cool, they've got potential, feels good, awesome. Then I have warm, you're talking about pain points. Then I have hot, that means they're closing within 7 days. Like I'm gonna pitch them really fast. If somebody has a call with me and says, I'm gonna pay tomorrow, I keep them as hot. If they're like, I'm gonna pay after my wedding 6 months from now, I move them to follow up, right? Like if you just couldn't win that call. Dead, I only call someone dead if they really are not a good fit. So if somebody says not right now or they're broke, they're not a bad lead. Just put them in follow up. And then I have multiple categories of long-term nurture. So on my lead tracker, I have long-term nurture, has a coach. Long-term nurture, financial objections, things like that. So I can kind of filter and I'll just like respark them every so often. So when I mention the resparking process, and we'll kind of go over what that looks like, because I want to show you what a week can look like in the DMs, okay? This is something that I would say take a picture of because I don't want you to wait for the recording. Again, this is like a perfect week. Adjust how you need to. So every single day, you should be sourcing, and I recommend resparking from the day before. So anyone that opened your message but didn't say anything back, bumping up, following up on this, following up on this, following up on this. You're not annoying. People don't owe you shit. You're a stranger. No one needs to respond to you, right? Remember that. So keep that in mind. You're not like annoying anyone. They can be fine. Update your lead tracker and then filter by tag. So I'm filtering every day by lead, resparking, flag, resparking, booked, resparking, hyping them up for the calls, right? And then manually scrolling back like 7 to 14 days to just make sure I have that second message attempt, third message attempt. Give somebody 3 message attempts before you just call them quits. Okay? Weekly. Again, this is just kind of a workflow that I used for a while that helped, where I would respark certain elements on my lead tracker. And then monthly, that end of month self audit is where you look at the time of day. Is my sourcing getting faster? Do I need to find new places to source? Which messages got good response? Remember how I said you need to have time to think? Don't just get stuck in the do, because if you don't audit what's working and not working, we can't make adjustments. Okay? So you already know this, that daily workflow. And then again, this is for any part in your business. Tomorrow, I will go a little more in depth in terms of auditing, KPIs, self-leadership, accountability, stuff like that. Because y'all, I'm not Superwoman. I have really fucking hard days too. I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't. Like, what you want isn't easy. It's not. Right? You can all leave here and go get a 9-to-5 job. No one, who cares? Entrepreneurship is not better than a 9-to-5. I think it is for my life, but I also need people to work in my business that aren't business owners. It's very important for me to keep my shit going, right? So I say this because I don't care what you want if your actions don't say the same thing. I don't give a shit. I don't believe you unless I see it. So when I get a client that's been stuck for a while and they're like, oh, Brenda, but like I really fucking want this. Okay, then why haven't you sent a fucking message in 7 days, right? You can build a 7-figure business from your couch with like air conditioning. You're fine. Work harder. Come on, right? It's literally who can sit in the grunt work longer than your competitor. If you can just hold out a little longer than the person next to you, you'll succeed. Whoever quits first, no shot in hell. But if you never quit, you will always win. Every single time.